The wealth is in who you become along the way. I have more than 30 years of experience managing money, building budgets, making high stakes financial decisions, leading teams, solving problems, and helping organizations steward millions of dollars. And one of the most important things I'm learning in this season of my life has very little to do with a spreadsheet. It has everything to do with becoming. For decades, my professional life taught me to plan, forecast the numbers, analyze the risks, build the strategy, measure the results, adjust the plan. As a financial professional and CFO, I understand the power of a well designed roadmap. But entrepreneurship has taught me something different. Sometimes the next level of your life cannot be calculated on a spreadsheet. Sometimes you have to become the person who can hold it before you can see the evidence that it is coming. And that may be one of the most important lessons of wealth I have learned yet. I'm not starting from scratch. If you've followed me for any length of time, you've probably heard me say, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. I believe that more deeply today than when I first began saying it, because I look at my own journey and realize that none of my experiences exist in isolation. My years in financial management, my career in government, my experience as a CFO, my entrepreneurial journey, building businesses, leading other entrepreneurs, learning digital marketing, creating content, exploring AI and new technology, building multiple streams of income, traveling, teaching, coaching, making mistakes, starting again. All of it belongs to the same story. For years, I might have described these things as different parts of my life. Today, I see them as assets. Intellectual capital. And perhaps becoming is not about abandoning who we have been to create someone entirely new. Perhaps becoming is about finally bringing all the pieces together. The question has changed. There was a time when the question was, what do I need to do next? Now I'm becoming much more interested in another question. Who do I need to become next? That is a very different conversation. Doing asks for a checklist. Becoming asks for identity. Doing says, work harder. Becoming asks, can you think differently? Doing says, find another opportunity. Becoming asks, can you recognize the opportunities already sitting inside your experience? Doing says, earn more. Becoming asks, can you become someone who thinks about wealth differently? That distinction matters to me because I have spent much of my life being a high performing professional. I know how to work. I know how to execute. I know how to carry responsibility. I know how to get things done. What I am exploring now is something deeper. What happens when all of that experience meets intention, imagination, technology, entrepreneurship, and a bigger vision for my life? That is the season I am in. Becoming wealthy is bigger than money. I recently began a 30-day journey through the science of becoming wealthy with Tasha Chen. And even at the beginning of this experience, I find myself thinking about wealth differently. Because I don't simply want more money, I want a wealthy life. There is a difference. A wealthy life includes financial freedom, absolutely, but it also includes health, time, peace, love, choice, experiences, travel, contribution, impact, legacy, and perhaps most importantly, the ability to decide how I want to spend the days I have been given. Money matters because money creates options. But money without the capacity to enjoy your life is incomplete. Money without health is incomplete. Money without time is incomplete. Money without purpose is incomplete. So this journey is not simply about becoming someone who earns more. It is about becoming someone capable of creating, receiving, managing, and enjoying wealth in all of its forms. My CFO brain is paying attention. There is a fascinating tension happening for me. The CFO in me loves evidence. Show me the numbers, show me the assumptions, show me the return, show me the strategy. But the entrepreneur in me has learned that sometimes vision comes before evidence. Every business begins that way. Every investment begins that way. Every innovation begins that way. Someone sees something that does not fully exist yet and decides to move toward it. That does not mean abandoning wisdom or sound financial principles. Quite the opposite. My experience has taught me to understand risk, stewardship, cash flow, investment, and long term planning. But experience has also taught me that numbers are tools. They tell us where we are. Vision helps determine where we are going, and becoming determines who will arrive there.